I'm Yoko, and I love Pokemon. I mean, look at my Sona. I've played almost every game, so this is going to be a video where I ramble all my thoughts after playing Legends ZA with some random art in the background. So obviously this video will include major spoilers, but I'll do a warning and maybe chapters for when I get there. This video is also my opinion, and I hope you respect that. I look forward to hearing yours in the comments as well, and now let's just get into the ramble. So first, let's go over how the game looked. I will start off by saying I played on the Switch 1. Performance-wise, the only real issue I saw was the load times were a little long and I got stuck infinitely loading one time, but it's okay, it auto-saved like very shortly before that. And I'm not really a graphics snob in general. I don't really care about trees in Pokemon or the fact that buildings were kind of painted on in this game, but I see where some people are coming from. I thought it looked very nice and lived in. All the Pokemon were just hanging out, like the elemental monkeys being in trees, Pidgeys on lampposts, Swirlix hanging out around the food trucks, Trubbish by the bins, etc. They were all just very charming to me. And they really fixed a lot of saturation issues that some Pokemon had in 3D. Slowpoke and Charmander being some good examples. They're just much more brighter now. I enjoyed the character customization, especially when I found out I could swap parts of the same clothing sets with other parts of it. Like, for example, my main outfit has a purple jacket with a black undershirt from the same set that I mixed and matched. Also, I could two-tone my hair, and in general, I think my trainer ended up looking pretty close to my Sona. I did notice there wasn't really that much variety in some of the shorter masculine hairs, and also some of the hair had bits that looked more like glued-on spikes than like actual pieces of hair, and that did bug me a little bit. But I got used to it. Also, I could put dark circles under my eyes, but they kind of really didn't look that good when your eyes were closed. I think they need to be a bit longer and less centered, like follow your entire eyelid, if that makes sense. Also, I played as a female character, but I heard that the clothes weren't gender locked, so that's pretty awesome. We love that. I will also say the many fist bumps in this game are not fist bumps, and that will forever bug me. The hands are not touching. That's not a fist bump, they're just hovering near each other. I love the look of the UI and the Pokedex, though I really wish that cool glitchy effect that happens when you first open it on Chikorita happened when you went to any Pokemon. Also, the benches in this game are anti-homeless, and that sucks. Too real, Pokemon, too real. Now, a big thing I wanted to yap about was Shinies. This was one of the main things I was excited for. I am a casual shiny hunter who's working on a shiny living dex in Legends Arceus, which has 50 free Pokemon on a save that I've only been to 2 of the areas in because I'm also trying to perfect the dex as I go. I love collecting. And a shiny living dex for Violet, which has 114 Pokemon. So I was excited for another future shiny challenge in a game that I only use shiny Pokemon on my team, except for my starter Chikorita. I also named them after random songs on my playlist that I titled Too Many Songs to Electric Boogaloo. So I named my Chikorita Boogaloo. And he was surrounded by sparkles my whole game. I did include the shiny Mareep on my team, and her name was Duality. And I only really hunted for 4 of the shinies I have, and it was mostly using the stair method in Area Free. Mostly because I did want to finish the story and then go back for shinies when I had the shiny charm. Those stair ones being the now fully evolved Creeps the Alpha Talonflame, Blue the Alpha Pyroar, and Stacy the Florges. But I found a decent amount just from wandering around. Pidgey, Scatterbug, another Fletchling, Bunnelby, Budew, and the one I was the most excited for? A Patrat. Which probably seems weird, but Patrat was one of the few Pokemon that haven't been on the Switch games yet. Furfrou and the Elemental Monkeys are some more, and I'm excited to shiny hunt them. Also, the random song my Watchog was named after was Problematic by Bo Burnham, so it was just really funny having him on the team. He honestly swept a lot of teams. He's also just hilarious the way he runs around. If you have a Watchog, send it out and see how it runs. I've really grown to love Watchog, and watching Problematic beat up a bunch of fights was really funny. The shiny sound was back for this game, which was amazing, and the Pokemon have a sparkle that just permanently goes around them until you catch them, which really helps when there's a shiny Flabébé, for example. Though I wish the range for the shiny sound happened a bit farther away, because you kind of have to be really close to them to hear it. Also, sometimes it double sparkles and you think you have 2, but it's just the same one. Shinies don't despawn, which is amazing. You can still fail them, however, if it autosaves after you kill it, or if it's a Pokemon that runs away. I spent 10 minutes resetting and trying to catch a Fletchling that just kept trying to fly away. Anyway, eventually Living Dex is on my list of to-dos for this game, but it's more in the background as I work on the older games. I'm going to prioritize anything from Mega, plus those that I mentioned that haven't been on the Switch before. Also Slowpoke, because I saw that they made it a little more purple, And while it's not as purple as it was in Generation 2, I love purple, and I will be hunting that. That being said, I know getting the shiny charm is going to suck since I have to win 1,000 battles, and I'm about 750 as of writing this, but this is partially why I was doing a fossil hunt, because it's not affected by the shiny charm, even if I had it. And I got my shiny Aerodactyl as my most recent shiny in 1,205 fossils, while resetting a batch of 30. Tyrant shall probably be my next goal, though my boyfriend is also hunting for the blue T-Rex, so send him luck, guys. He doesn't usually shiny hunt. But yeah, I love shinies, and I'm planning a potential series where I just yap about shinies by each generation and which ones I'd personally change. Let me know if you're interested in that. I might have some hot takes. Now, as for the actual gameplay, I definitely had no idea where I was going most of the time. I had to look up so many guides in certain spots of the story of how to get onto specific roofs. I also wish we could move around a little faster than the run speed. It is a little annoying to constantly need to repress the run button. And I do miss ride Pokemon. I wish you could run around in a Go-Goat or something. Like, X and Y was the generation that kind of introduced that, you know? I also have a giant dislike for all the obstacle course stuff. It took me like 20 minutes to beat that Froakie side quest. And I'm still missing some screws and I have no idea where they are, but I at least got the required 80. I am horrible at gaming, and my hot take is that I already hated playing Legends Arceus. I don't like a game that can kill me as a player. Also, I just don't really like the battling system. I take a bit to process stuff and can't really keep up a lot of the time. I miss turn-based stuff. This is why I like how base Pokemon is, and that way I can think. Online battles were like 10 times worse than this, by the way. There's 3 other people I have to fight. But I did make it to the K rank, which was the goal for that specific prize. I was really bad at the rogue mega Pokemon stuff. I just overleveled my team and hoped the best, honestly. It's also a little hard on my hands that you have to hold down Z constantly to attack. I don't know, maybe it's a skill issue or the fact that I have just little hands. I know my hands in general don't really bend like correctly. I can't really do certain hand signs. I have to like hold down my fingers, and then if I don't, it just pops back into place. It was pretty fun to sneak up on people during the battle royales though. Also, the load times in between day and night cycles really sucks, but I get why it takes that long. A quality of life thing that I love, however, is the guy at the Pokemon Center that just gets all the balls that you threw and didn't hit anything with. I threw a ton of balls by accident. That was so helpful. Thank you, sir. Also, I'm probably in the minority that doesn't really care that there's no voice acting. I think it should be included for some areas, like how in Sword and Shield, Piers didn't sing, and that was really awkward. But in Black and White 2, they had Roxy singing in the game music, so it's not impossible just to have, like, certain parts have voice acting. But overall, it really doesn't bug me that there's no voices in this game. Another hot take, if it wasn't for the shiny sound, I wouldn't be playing the game with sound anyway. Video game music kind of overwhelms me most of the time. Now I'm going to talk about the side missions and the fact that this game has hilarious dialogue. Please don't skip through the dialogue. I've seen so many people playing the game and they don't really read it, and it makes me sad. This might be the funniest game, honestly. When you complete the mission to give a Pikachu, she evolves it and immediately learns that Raichu can attack its trainer, and she does like a double take at the camera. You gotta admit that's funny. Also, in general, I see so many people ignoring the side quests, and meanwhile, I try to do basically all of them as they appeared. The only ones I still have are the ones that are asking for like a Pikachu versus a Pikachu fight, for example. I'm waiting to flex on the NPC with shinies. You get stuff by doing the side missions, like how you get the Pokemon, like the Kalos starters and the free shiny Mareep. You get items and money, like evolution items. It unlocks areas, like when you do Hollowvators. It unlocks more hair and eye colors. It's just fun. I thought the little girl that just really liked Ekans was also cute, and I like Pokemon making the snake-loving child a girl. The Slurpuff I had to take to a cafe that looked adorable, just sitting back eating their macaroons, and it was referred to as a grumpy little marshmallow. That's so cute. The Spupa quest led me to checking out the museum and finding out all the cool Legends Arceus references, including the Volo outfit that said it was donated to the museum personally by the person who wore it, and that they looked at the Professor Lavender sketches with, like, nostalgia or something like that. And is Volo just wandering around still? Excuse me, is he alive? Are we gonna see him in the DLC? I also managed to find a Jumbo Pumpkaboo for that one mission, first try, while my boyfriend took, like, a few days, and I feel a little bad about that, but he also couldn't find a male Ralts, which I found, like, 3 of them for, so, I don't know, skill issue. Don't worry, though, I sent him one of my many male Raltses. There's also a quest where a Shuppet basically tells the cop that his wife is unhappy, and that's just unexpected. Like, divorce Shuppet, I guess. Good luck, you two. Also, good luck to the guy that we found a house that he couldn't afford, but he still went for it. That guy is gonna be homeless in a town with anti-homeless benches, oh boy. But yeah, the side quests are just super fun. Please check them out. Now I'm going to very quickly give my opinion on all the new Mega Evolutions rapid fire. Meganium was super powerful to use in my game. Wish the neck was longer though. Ember looks cool, but it's not my style, so not my favorite. For Alligator, I like in concept, but the execution could have been way better. Barbaracle is actually pretty cool for a Pokemon that's not really liked that much, and I enjoy that it got a Mega. Starmie is hilarious, and anyone who is mad about it genuinely I don't think they like fun. Just see how it moves around and try not to laugh at it. I don't know, I like the goofy ones. Pyroar was disappointing in both design and the fact that I got a shiny for my team, only for the Mega Stone to be post-game, but the shiny version kinda saves it for me with that white mane that flashes red when attacking. Clefable is adorable, and I love that it has a little hat and the wings are so pretty. Scolipede is top tier, super cool design, and I want a shiny one. Victory Bell is another so silly, I like it. The way it just goes boing, boing, boing just makes me giggle. Excadrill makes sense, Giant Drill go burr, Gurren Lagann reference, I don't know, I haven't seen it. Electros is actually so cool, and I love the plus and minus symbols that alternate on its sides. Dragonite is so cute, and I don't know why it got so much hate when it was first revealed. The shiny is also beautiful, and I want it. Dragalge is so sick. Top tier Mega, I want it so badly. Frostlass is probably my favorite, she just looks so elegant and pretty. Hawlucha is cool, but again, not really for me. My boyfriend loves it, though. Scrafty, I think, is funny. Just a little emo kid. Chandelure makes sense. Bigger lamp. Phalanx is super cool. I love the one being squished in the middle. Also, a Generation 8 Pokemon getting a Mega. I love that they spread it beyond just, like, Gen 1, Gen 2. You know, they spread it out for a decent amount of generations, except, you know, Generation 9, because that was the most recent one. Drampa is surprisingly sick, and the shiny is so good. It gives me Fuyuhiko from Danganronpa vibes for some reason. Chestnut is pretty cool, pretty regal looking, possibly like a king. I love Mega Delphox, I really want to get it. They took Delphox, which I wasn't that happy with, and improved everything that I was about it, which I love because Fennekin was my favorite of the free in this region. Greninja I got the stone for during the online battles, and hot take, Greninja was my least favorite Kalos starter, and this basically just turns him upside down. I don't know, fight me. Floette's Mega was underwhelming since it just was the flower that Mega evolved, basically. And then Zygarde got a gun. My favorite Zygarde form is the dog, so I'm not really too excited about the humanoid one, so the Mega wasn't really for me. Also, the two Raichus that were announced kind of suck. I know they're X and Y shaped, but I wish they looked better. Raichu had so many possibilities. At least it's not Mega Pikachu, and they gave Raichu some more stuff. Looking at you, Gigantamax Pikachu. And now finally the story. So, you know, spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Anyway, it was so funny to me that we were just immediately getting robbed, and Urbane trying to rope me into advertising. Sir, I need to know what I'm advertising. I am a YouTuber that takes their job seriously. I love Team MZ, and I'm so sad people get annoyed at how much dialogue there is, especially on a first playthrough. They're all just a bunch of misfit kids, and they're in the arts, and Grandpa AZ is providing them a safe space. Naveen's grandma sucks, and throwing out all of his sewing stuff reminded me of something from the anime Blue period. Naveen is a dork, and I love him. I relate to being an introvert and refusing to eat that weird food combination that Urbane made. He's just so cute how he loves Canary and he's a fanboy. Also, I'm probably gonna mispronounce a bunch of names in this. I don't know, a bunch of them are French and I don't know how to say it. Lita is also super cute, and I love her dance moves. I wonder if we'll get to see Tierno in the DLC. Urbane, I will be honest, I was suspicious of him. I don't know, I was just thinking he might be evil. He was nowhere to be seen as we dealt with his mess with the loans, and also really said, no, I want to at the end with Floette. I have no idea how old these characters are, by the way. There's no information, and they really give college age vibes or, like, older high school. The game calls them kids, but, like, I don't know. Lita said she had a roommate and that she was going to, like, dance school. Going from rank Z to rank A seemed like a fun challenge, and while I really didn't like the battling, I was also very annoyed that we skipped a bunch of ranks. Mostly because I love stuff that's ABC and just stuff that's order. On that reason, it also bugged me that they didn't all match names of the rank, like it seemed like they were setting up with Zack, Yvonne, and Zavi. I love dog form Zygarde, it's such a friend, and the pebble that turned out to be a Megastone was really funny at the time when he first gave it to me. I was just like, okay, Zygarde, you cute little puppy, I'll keep this pebble you gave me. Thank you for the random rock. I immediately clocked L was Lysander, and that made me sad that Sycamore wasn't here. I would love to see Sycamore. Though his pictures you can see and interact with, and it says there's a whiff of cologne, and that's just really funny to me. Professor Mabel was an ex-Team Flare member who's on probation, and that's pretty funny. Clement, too. What happened to him? Where is Clement? What happened to the gym? Canary was also funny as a character, along with her grandpa having a VTuber of her, essentially. The fact that she also, like, literally curses at the end with just a censored key smash after you beat her makes me really laugh. She's saying gamer words. Ivor was also a himbo, and again, please read dialogue. Dude punches a lock and the gate that it's attached to, and it just all falls off when we can't find a key. He's so buff he can't use a phone. I love this ridiculous level of strength he has, and his poor sister that has to deal with him and the entire group. Gwen's little fist bump where she just uses like a finger is also so cute. Now Corbeau, he's a loan shark with interest so high it's criminal, but why does the game make this short king so likable? As someone who's 4'10", I relate to his height, and he's doing good deeds and rose up from nothing, and I love him so much. How dare you? And later in the story, the human ladder his group made was so funny. I love how ridiculous all of this is. Also, as I was playing, my boyfriend mentioned to me that he couldn't wait until I met the lesbian, and then I saw Laban and I realized what he meant. Free my feral woman, she wants to be wild and has been domesticated. Jacinth, you can't just force a girl to be your girlfriend, I mean maid. Also, the fancy outfit I had to wear for your tournament was ugly. At least it was purple. Team Flare Nouveau was interesting, but I wish there was a little bit more to it. Also, they were not hiding well. Remove the logos if you don't want the discrimination of being an ex-Team Flare member. The end part of my story with the tower was wild, but I hate that it involved a giant obstacle course. I did manage to kind of cheese the flowers by just standing behind the rubble. And then, giant major spoiler, AZ died at the end, and I was gonna cry. Goodbye, old war criminal that turned into a grandpa to Team MZ. Like, he called them, like, his precious Team MZ or something like that, and had Naveen take his measurements, saying that was for clothes, when in reality it was for his own grave. These poor kids. Also, the fact the cemetery is in a wild zone feels so cruel. Good luck visiting your loved one's grave. Now, as for the post-game story. AZ leaves a will to us saying to do with the hotel as we see fit and sell it if it's a burden. Annie gives you his Lucario with a letter that once again makes me want to cry, saying that a friend gave it to him, and if we ever see them, to tell them that he had it with him until the end. And the original trainer ID says Katrina, which means that that's the Lucario that we got from her in X and Y, and then the player character gave it to AZ. But then after that, Area 20 is unlocked, and heck yeah, starters and 2 random alphas in the middle of the map each time. I know where I'm hunting first time after the Shiny Charm. We use our one wish to battle more and keep the ZA morale going on, which is not what I would have wanted at all. I do not like the battling, how dare you, but it's fine. Turns out Lysander is basically the new AZ, going to live for 3,000 years old and such. He still wants to make a beautiful world, but seems to not want to, nuke everything, so here's hoping he does well. I worked through the Infinite Royale, both for the story and because I'm trying to farm battles for the Shiny Charm. And then after beating Urbane, turns out his grandma was who he was looking for, and it was Jet. And apparently Dead Mom was a former Team Flare member who was also raising him, and it was hard, and my heart, honestly, I really hope we find out who his mom was in the DLC. I hope it's a named character and not just a new one. I've seen theories that maybe it's Malva, but I'm just so curious. Then Urbane takes over the company, and I guess that means he has no time for Floette, even though AZ was also just sitting there running a hotel and also had Floette. But he gave her to me, and the last Mega Stone I needed. I love this story and how, in general, this game built upon X and Y, which were games that I felt were so robbed. There was so much more they seemed to want to do in X and Y, but couldn't back then. So this was really fun. Overall, I like the game, and I'm going to have fun casually shiny hunting. I would like to leave Lumiose for the DLC, but I doubt it. Kalos as a region had so many pretty places, and we're kind of just stuck in urban hell. But yeah, fun story, even if the combat and such wasn't really for me. I like that others like it. I just want main Pokemon to stay turn-based, and if it does, I'm cool with these side games experimenting. Thank you for listening to me yap, and if you have questions I didn't address about the game or story or anything, feel free to leave it below, as well as your own opinions and experiences. Shiny hunting for anything in particular, please tell me. But yeah, that's the ramble, and I will see you next time. Peace!